Hi there, welcome to another episode of mine. This is True Gooner and another one of my hangouts. And tonight we're joined with Adam, who we saw last week. We're joined with Tom, who we've seen a few times on this show. And we're delighted to welcome Claude for his debut show. How are you, mate?
Hello, mate. All right. Hello, everyone.
Hello, Claude.
Hi, mate.
What's up?
Yeah, hi, yeah.
Hello.
Well, first of all, yes, I know we're currently doing this at the point there where Spurs are winning 2-0, but before we get on... Oh yeah, 3-0. Oh. See, even more trouble. What we'll do, we'll discuss yesterday first and just discuss our thoughts on the game. Claude, we'll start with you. I was at the game, so were you. I was sitting very near you. It looked very flat in my opinion. What are your mates of it?
The crowd was flat. The performance was flat. No one gives a shit anymore. The players don't give a shit anymore. I don't think the manager gives a shit anymore. I think it's time to finish it in May. And I think if he has any decency, I think he will do that in May. I think tonight shows you where it's all gone wrong. We went to Stoke earlier I was slaughtered for saying that coming to Stoke without Mesut Ozil was a joke. I was slaughtered for keeping him home by the telly, watching Sky Sports. I was slaughtered for that. We went there with a negative attitude, and look, Spurs are turning them over 3-0. The whole thing is a joke. It's time for a change. Time for a change.
Definitely. Tom, were you at the game yesterday?
Fortunately, I was, mate. I was.
Oh well, the atmosphere was flat and the performance was flat. What do you make of it?
It was just all stale, mate. It was stale. It was boring. It was predictable, and nothing changed throughout the 90 minutes. I mean, you'd have thought the manager would have changed, even though we scored just before half time. That's what probably set Arsene Wenger off and said, you know what, 1-0 up. I'm not going to change anything. But we weren't creating any clear-cut chances. I think the one chance we had prior to the goal was a cutback for El Neni that got blocked and went out for a corner from 20 yards, and that's not good enough, mate. And we've said it time and time again, it's not good enough, and it's simply at the stage now, as Claude said, I don't think the players care. I honestly think that the manager, he still believes in himself, but he hasn't got the ability anymore. 15 years ago, yeah, great manager, done fantastic for our club. 10, 15 years ago. Now it's got to the point where we've gone past the enough is enough stage. Now it's literally at breaking point. It's beyond a joke, mate. What's happened to this football club is it's not. I just can't get my head around it. I really can't get my head around it. How we can always do so well in the early parts of the season, leading up until Christmas. We were 2 points clear of Leicester at the start of January, and what we now 13 with a game in hand.
Yeah,
it doesn't add up. It really doesn't add up, because what does the manager change from January to May? What does he change? You keep it the same. The players are playing well. As Claude said, he keeps Ozil at home. For the Stoke game. And I remember pre-game, I was going up to the game, and they said he got a slight knee problem. That's absolute bollocks. Absolute bollocks. Because if you have a knee problem, he was fine to play on the game after that. I can't exactly remember who we had.
Chelsea game, yeah,
He was absolutely fine. He played the whole 90 minutes. If someone's got a knee problem, you take him off at half time or 60 minutes into the game. Absolute complete bollocks that he had a knee problem. And we went there, we drew 0-0. We've seen Tottenham tonight 3-0, and it makes me feel sick, mate. It honestly makes me feel sick, because they're a complete team. They're a complete team, and as much as Arsenal fans hate to admit it, they're at the other end of the wire than us right now, because they're playing fantastically week in, week out. We can't string 3 performances on the bounce together, and it's sickening, mate. It's sickening.
Yeah, you can see that just sums up how we all feel. He's spot on there. Adam, what do you make of it all? Why do you think it's all gone wrong?
Well, you two summed it up pretty well. I think we always underestimate the opposition every time they come to the Emirates. we've scored 24 goals all season at home. Newcastle United has scored more.
That's nonsense.
It's an absolute disgrace how we played yesterday. It didn't give a shit. It was painful for me to watch it. I actually felt like just leaving after 60 minutes. We weren't 1-0 up, but one good moment, and that's it. The rest was a complete disgrace. And, you know, some of the crowd, I mean, I just don't understand why they bother going, because they don't make any noise. It's ridiculous, and it rubs off on the players, but the players need to make us stand up and shout. Get out. They didn't give the crowd a reason to sing at all.
Yeah, just like partly that equaliser sums up that we've literally got no leaders back there, and we've had this problem for years. And how are we going to do to fix this?
Well, I don't know. I mean, their goal itself was just absolute shocking. I mean, that was their first shot they had in the second half, and we had 20 attempts on goal, or more than that, and got 6 on target.
Yeah,
come on. We all knew we needed a world-class striker. Danny Welbeck's a good player, but he's not going to get you 30 goals a season, is he? I mean, my problem with Welbeck is his first touch.
4-0, by the way. Sorry to interrupt. It's 4-0.
It's laughable. I can't get mad anymore because it's laughable how crap we are.
I know.
It's a joke. It's upsetting.
Yeah. Cool. We'll just come back to you for one minute.
I hate to say this, and I can't. But if you look at it in the whole, really Tottenham should be on top of the league because they've scored the most goals, haven't they?
Yeah, they have. Yeah. They've got the best goal difference and they've got the best defence.
When have you ever seen a team score the most goals and concede the least goals, be second place? That's got to be incredible. I mean, and they're playing the best football. And I hate to say this, but I'm speaking honestly.
Yeah, it's fine. You're speaking your mind.
I'm speaking my mind, and you know, I don't understand what's happened to us. Why are we falling behind? Why are we falling that far behind? I mean, I don't get it. I just don't bloody get it.
I know. I don't think any of our fans can believe it. Like Tom said earlier, that we're going into the games with a wrong set of the mind, and the manager. We definitely need to consider change.
Seb, he comes out with some fucking statements as well, saying we've got leaders all over the pitch.
Yeah, I know. I've seen that. I've seen that.
Oh, for God's sake!
I'm sorry, but that is.
It's comical. It's comical. Do you know what else he said the other day? He said Giroud is in this class of Lewandowski and Aguero. I mean, where are we coming? These are statements being made by our manager, and I'm surprised the media haven't jumped on that because I'm sorry. I think something's not right there, mate. And I think it's unless someone. But the trouble is, and this is my biggest trouble. There's no one in the club that has any knowledge of football. In front of him, that's in charge of him, that can tell him that time is up, and that's the big problem. It's going to have to be his decision.
Claude, does it not remind you of Brian Clough a little bit? I know I'm a bit too young for that, but you know, Brian Clough's last season he got relegated. Last couple of seasons were a disaster. Don't you think it's similar to Clough here, but not as bad?
It's not as bad as that because because Clough did turn to drink. I mean, having said that, I wish this bloke would have a few more drinks. But and sometimes I wish our players would have a drink and smash the hell out of each other because they're too nice to each other. No one wants to blame each other. They're all nice. No one wants to blame anyone. I would rather that they all had a big scrap in the dressing room and went out for a pint afterwards, but instead of what they do now and go out with a latte or whatever. I mean, today they all went out as if it didn't matter. They went all on this sponsored, something to do with sponsors today. Weren't they all jetting off, all smiling and jetting off on their? This was their day off. If that was in the Cloughie days, they'd be back in training, mate.
Yeah, I know that. What is he doing to giving the players a day off? They're not working hard enough. It's pretty obvious. Tom, let's come back to you. What do you agree? What do you think of all this? It's not on, is
It's
it?
nonsense, mate. It's absolute nonsense. I mean, we talk time and time. I've said it about 5 minutes ago about how is it possible for us to drop off from January to May? And let's not forget when we beat Leicester on Valentine's Day, we were 2 points behind them. And I think me as well as probably the whole Emirates Stadium, when that goal went in, well, it scored, we thought, well, I certainly thought that is a title-winning goal. That should be the momentum to push you on to the end of the season. Yeah. So that's Valentine's Day. We're 2 months down the line, and we're now 13 points behind Leicester. It's disgusting, mate. It's absolutely disgusting. Words cannot. That itself is a sackable offence. If I was the owner of a club, I'll have the manager gone just plainly because of that. Plainly because of the fact that you have let this your best chance in winning a league title go to your dearest rivals, and Leicester City have come from absolutely nowhere. You've got to give them both credit, of course. They've both had fantastic seasons, and they deserve to be where they are. But from our side of the coin, it's disgusting, absolutely disgusting.
But Tom, you're losing the point. Look, the point is those owners don't understand the rivalry between Arsenal and Tottenham. All them owners care about is money in the bank, and that's all they care about. All he cares about is his $3 million bonus every year, Kroenke. He doesn't. He ain't got a clue about rivalry.
This is the thing about Kroenke, because the way I see it, he's an American businessman. He's invested in a big football club that's got the potential every single season to make him a lot of money. Listen, this geezer owns franchises and businesses all over the world that are making him millions and millions of pounds a year. Why is he going to put extra funds into a football club when he's already making significant funds? Because we do make him a lot of money every year getting into the Champions League. And that's what he's bothered about. He's not bothered about giving Arsene Wenger or whoever his 150 million, go in and win us a league title next season. He's not bothered about that because he's already getting a significant amount of money at the end of each season. That's what worries me, the fact that these owners aren't prepared. As Claude said, they don't give a shit. They literally does not give a shit. And we all go on about Arsene Wenger, me especially, I go on about Arsene Wenger a lot, but Stan Kroenke is a big part to play in what is happening in especially this season. Because if we'd have spent more than £10 million this season on a world-class striker and a world-class CDM, and even a world-class centre-back, I've no doubt in my mind that we'd have won the league this year. No doubt in my mind, because this squad is good enough. I'm sorry, this squad is, at the moment it's not, but with a couple of additions, it's good enough. Because you've got the players.
Tom, I agree with you on one point, but I don't think it would. In a certain way, I agree with you. In a certain way, I don't. It's not just that. It's tactically the man is not right as well. Tactically as well, mate. It's not just
I agree.
His tactics are a good 10 years old.
They're outdated.
You can have all the money in the world. But all the best players in the world. If you're tactically not right, mate, you're not gonna. We'd still be short. We'd probably be a bit more closer, but I think we'd be still short.
Yeah, just for example, like you can bring
especially in the Champions League, we'd still definitely short because tactically,
definitely.
We get slaughtered in the Champions League all the time because of tactics. I mean, look at I got slaughtered for saying, "Oh, it's Barcelona. Why are you moaning, Claude?" Remember my interview?
Yeah,
why are you moaning, Claude? We gave them a good go. They are the best team in Europe.
Yeah, but are we a big club or not?
We're not a big club. We're not a big club. We're not a big club.
And I said at the time, Barcelona were there for the taking. And what happened? As soon as someone with a bit of tactical nous got in, they got bleed. They got bleed.
And since then, look what's happened to Barcelona. Since then,
all I got that night was brave Arsenal, brave this, brave the fact they were brave.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that just sums up. Even I was at that time when that Barcelona game was thinking, if you actually think about it, then are we a big club or not? Because it's just the same things are just happening every year, and every time we get to this stage, we just go. And Adam, we'll come back to you on this. What do you think about this? It's just not on. And even when we get into the Champions League and qualify, we don't look like we're going to be a threat, because this is what we were sold the dream for.
We don't compete in the Champions League. I don't get why it's such a big deal to get in the Champions League. I said I'd rather go in the Europa League and try and give that a good go and get the experience. Because let's face it, Arsenal haven't won that many European trophies.
No, we
What's
haven't.
the point? What's the point? I don't get it. Against Barcelona, yeah, we gave it a good go. That's not good enough.
It's not.
It's not good enough. They say, oh, Messi was amazing. Well, sorry, but we need to be back. We need to, mark him back. It's all the excuses he makes, as well as the fans. I don't get how fans can defend him every single year. It actually baffles me. What do these Arsene Wenger fans want? They want top four. They want the title. I mean, I think the best thing we can do is drop out the top four and go in the Europa League and give Arsene Wenger a massive kick up the arse he needs and tell him to piss off as well. Because I've had enough. I just can't. I'm beyond angry now. It's just upsetting the way we're going.
Yeah. Tom, do you agree with that? Do you think it's time we do drop out the top four to really give everyone the kick up the backside that they really need?
I agree with it in some senses. I mean, I agree that it would give Arsene Wenger certainly a kick up the backside. However, the thing that worries me is that the players that we would attract, and playing on Thursday nights doesn't necessarily help you in the long run. I don't think so. But I do agree with Adam in the sense that it would give Arsene Wenger a kick up the backside. He's always had this thing on his back that he's got in the Champions League every single year, blah, blah, blah. Getting into the Europa, dropping out of the Champions League, like finishing outside the top four might be a wake-up call that he's needed for about 10 years. The thing with Arsene Wenger that irritates me is I honestly don't understand, like him on a personal note, I don't understand how he can wake up in every single morning, turn up to training and look at himself in the mirror and go, I can take this club forward. I genuinely believe I can take this club forward.
Oh.
Because if he had any common sense, he'd have left the club 5 years ago, while we was in a deep transition period and our big players were leaving us. That's when he'd have left. If he had any common sense and knew that he couldn't take this club forward, because we've gone on so much about this season, but it's not the first time. This has happened successively over the past 10 years. We've been given a good chance at winning the title and suddenly dropped off. I remember in 2014 at Christmas we was on top. Then we go to Liverpool and get battered, Man City and get battered, Chelsea and get battered.
Yeah, right.
What's all that about? Where is the motivation for the players to work for the manager? But then again you could say what we all agree on is that the manager is tactically outdated and that he's just far past his sell-by date. Listen, I respect the guy for what he's done previously. Like I respect him, and I was born in 99, so I haven't even seen all of his reign. But for what he's done during the period that I've followed Arsenal home and away, and I'm Claude will elaborate on this because he's been going home and away far lot longer than me. But it is disgusting, absolutely disgusting, and all this shit about we don't have the financial power to compete with Man City, Chelsea, Man United, blah blah blah. Well, look what Leicester have done.
Yeah,
look what Leicester have done. I'm sorry, but every little excuse that the geezer could have thrown out there has just been thrown back in his face. He's chatting utter bollocks. Utter bollocks.
Oh no, there's no excuses, especially if Leicester and Tottenham do it. Absolutely no excuses. I can't even take Spurs finishing above us, but I said that after yesterday, if they win today, then that's that gone. And if they win the league, I just don't know what I can do myself.
What was it? What will his excuse be? Sorry.
They're going to win it, mate. They're going to win it. They win it now. They'll win it now.
I honestly reckon they'll win it now as well.
Momentum. They've got the momentum to win it.
Yeah, well, this Vardy sent off and that lot has really slammed the door wide open, and if you've actually seen Leicester's last 3 fixtures, that could taunt them. Well, Tottenham have only got Chelsea away, hard left, then the other 3, I can see 3 wins, and
we're just there in 4th as usual, same old. That's good enough for Wenger, isn't it?
Yeah, well, you never know. There's a chance now we could not get that because Manchester United, 2 factors. Manchester United breathing down our neck. They're only 4 points behind us. And another thing, I believe if Liverpool win that Europa League, which, let's be honest, could really honestly happen, then there we go. We'll be kicked out.
What would the excuse be then? What do you reckon his excuse will be this time?
Oh, I don't know.
All his fans will be making excuses for him, like on Twitter. I can't.
He hasn't got a valid excuse. He's not got no valid excuse.
There is just no more excuses. Exactly, Tom. You sum it up. There is no more. Seriously, we've got to wake up and start saying enough is enough. Because I'm sorry, this like you said, this is a complete embarrassment. I would never in a million years have dreamed this to happen.
I don't understand. I honestly, like, obviously, one of my favourite players ever to play at Arsenal is Mesut Ozil, as you may know. Alexis Sanchez as well, a fantastic player. But I don't understand how those players can look at Arsenal Football Club and think, I want to work under Arsene Wenger. Let's look at his track record. Okay, first 7 years done brilliant. Okay, what they've done in the past 8 years prior to in 2013 when Ozil joined. What have they done in the past 8 years? Nothing.
Apart from 2 FA Cups, which
I'm sorry, but
it papered the cracks.
Yeah.
Could anyone blame the likes of Ozil and Sanchez if they were to leave? And I'm not to say they will leave. I'm very confident that Sanchez will leave in the summer. I reckon Ozil will stay because I think he's more worried about the money. But I do reckon Sanchez will leave, and I couldn't blame either of them if they were to. Because why would they want to work under a manager like Arsene Wenger, who Ozil's been here for 3 seasons now, and we haven't been able to mount a serious title challenge? No. And that's not down to him, because this season he's been 20 steps ahead of every single one of them players this season, sorry. The amount of times yesterday you saw it, he created 8 clear, not goal scoring opportunities, clear goal scoring opportunities, and not one was converted. One that really irritated me was must have been about 10 minutes into the game, and I was sitting front row, block 3, so I had a perfect view of it. He played an amazing through ball to Danny Welbeck, and he just couldn't even sort the ball out of his feet. He just sort of bobbled off him.
His first touch is a bit dodgy.
It's just one of them things, you know, like players like Ozil, they are so far ahead in their mind, ahead of the rest of the players in the team. Theo Walcott, what the fuck was he doing when he come on yesterday? His first touch,
he did nothing.
It's just ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. He's on 140 grand a week. 140 grand a week. If I was the owner, I'd be taking him off the wage bills immediately. Because what's he done? He scored a screamer against Man City. He done well at the start of the season. What is he doing? What has Joel Campbell done to deserve for Theo Walcott to have a higher place in the rankings than him? Joel Campbell's been immense this season when he's played. Theo Walcott's done fuck all since the turn of the year. Absolutely fuck all, and he's on 140 grand a week. It's these things, mate. The club is just it's in a very, very bad place from top to bottom.
It's in a mess. The whole thing is a mess at the moment, and yeah, going back to the point of Joel Campbell, he's been very unfairly treated. There is obviously something about him that Wenger doesn't like.
The reason he's not doing it is playing Campbell. He's not signed a contract, so he's got the arse with him. That's the reason. And I think it's ridiculous, because if a player gives 100% when he's on the pitch, I don't think he's not signed the contract.
Yeah. Right, we can see here we're joined with Craig for the Gooner Talk, and for his debut show. We're delighted to welcome him. So, how are you, Craig? All right?
I'm very well, thank you, mate. How are you? How are you, chaps?
Yeah, not bad, mate, not bad.
Well, it's nice to be talking, but you can tell we're all depressed. Craig, let's come to you. Let's have your thoughts on the game yesterday. You looked flattened.
Yeah, it was more like a pre-season game, wasn't it? pre-season Barclays Asia friendly. It's quite clear for all to see that Arsene Wenger's lost the players. We're famous for playing this counter-attacking tiki-taka football. Where is it? Where has it gone? It's just not there anymore. It's just clear for all to see, mate. He's just lost. You know, I don't want to come on and start bashing Wenger. Players have got to take some responsibility for it as well, but it's so clear to see that it's just not happening anymore. It's time for him to go. There's just no more answers anymore. There's just, you know, we can sit here as fans and talk all we like. Until Arsene Wenger is gone, this club will not move forward. It's as simple as that.
Especially after this season mess. And seriously, I've been saying for ages, if he can't compete with the likes of Tottenham and Leicester for this, how do you think he's going to do it? Because there's new managers coming in. Pep Guardiola, Conte from Chelsea, Klopp's going to have his Liverpool team fired out, and it does look like Mourinho's going to United. So it just doesn't make sense.
And not only Tottenham will be going from strength to strength with the team they've got at the moment, young players.
Look what they've just done to Stoke.
Yeah.
Well, we only got 0-0.
And as I said, Craig, to these boys earlier, everyone was Ozil, and I was fuming about that. Oh, we've got to go to Stoke. Oh, that's a great point. Oh, yeah, I just watched it. They destroyed them.
Yeah.
They destroyed them.
Yeah. And also, I remember we played there.
That is a time when we lost it. When we go to bloody Stoke and scared to play Stoke away.
I personally think the time we lost it was the game just before that when we played Liverpool. Then it was a pathetic performance, let's be honest. And then we were doing so well until Wenger takes off our best player and brings on Arteta. I'm saying, what is all that about?
The game for me where we lost it was the cup final against Birmingham.
Oh well, yeah.
That's a few seasons back. Yeah.
That's the game. That's the game where we lost it. No, I don't think anyone's ever recovered from that, especially Arsene Wenger.
Coco the clown in goal, didn't we then?
Yeah, certainly. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my days.
Oh dear. Well.
It's so depressing.
Well, yeah. Well.
It is what it is, boys. It is what it is. What can we do?
You have to, and I hate it, and I'm not going to get slaughtered for saying this, but you've got to give credit where it's due, and they've been far the best team this season, even though Leicester are in front, which I find amazing. But if you look at it, they've scored the most goals, they've conceded the less goals, their football is brilliant as well. You can't take it away from them. They deserve it.
Yeah. I'd have to agree with you. It hurts, but look, I mean, you get what you deserve in football, and we deserve absolutely nothing this year.
Yeah.
That will be part of his that will be part of his legacy, by the way. Creating the first Tottenham Premier League title, that'll be part of his legacy as well.
Wow.
He's helped create it.
I'm afraid.
He's helped create that as well.
I think the Spurs manager Claude deserves a bit of respect.
No, but he's helped with his woeful team as well, because we should not be. With the players we've got as well, some of the players we've got.
Yeah, I just
but one outfield player he brought in, one outfield player all season, £200 million sitting in the bloody bank. No, mate, he's helped create that.
I know. This is why we need change, because even that he probably might spend in the summer, but even if he does, you know what the majority of the fans are going to be thinking. They're just going to be thinking, oh, well, you know what will happen. We'll come to January, February, then even when it looks like we'll challenge, we'll collapse. So the fans have just lost it. Tom, we'll come back to you. He's just lost the fans, hasn't he?
Oh, completely, mate. I think the divide between the fans now of Wenger in and Wenger out is inexplicable. It's literally like, compared to 6-7 years ago, now it is completely in the favour of get the geezer out. Because what he's done and the amount of damage he's done to us fans, like, I don't think he appreciates the fans. Honestly, I don't. The amount of money we have to spend, the hours and the commitment that we put in, the hours that you guys put in to do these videos and edit and blah blah blah. It's all for one football club, and that's Arsenal Football Club. Right. And it's managed by a geezer who doesn't appreciate the fans. He doesn't, and I think a lot down to Tottenham's success this season is because of Mauricio Pochettino. And if you watch their games, you'll see him 90 minutes. He'll be on his feet. He'll be on his feet, getting the best out of the players. He'll be roaring them up and down the pitch. If someone makes a mistake, he'll be clapping them, saying, "Come on, get up with it, get on with the game." It's the same with Claudio Ranieri. Every time the camera goes on him, he seems to be on his feet, telling the players what to do. Run here, run there, pass it there. Wenger, the only time he gets out of his seat is to have a moan at the fourth official when a decision doesn't go our way. That's the only time you see him out of his seat. If you watch him, he'll walk up to the touchline, he'll have his arms crossed, and he'll just look around and watch the game. There's no tactical awareness of, oh, Alexis, do this, do that, Ozil, do that. There's none of that. None of that. I wish there was a 90-minute camera view of Arsene Wenger for the whole game, because you see exactly what I'm talking about. I mean, I think that it all comes down to that. And you look at Klopp over the years with how good of a job he done at Dortmund, and look at him, 90 minutes he's on the touchline. Now listen, I know Liverpool are sitting in 8th position right now, but I'm pretty sure when he gets his team together next season, like he's the team that he wants, I think they'll have a much more improved season next year. And it's frightening, mate. You look at Louis van Gaal, for example. He's never on his feet. He's always sitting down, just writing little things down. And most of the Man United supporters are a bit like us. Most of them want him to go. What Mauricio Pochettino has done at Tottenham is incredible, absolutely incredible. It's the same goes for Claudio Ranieri. That's even more surprising. It's just the manager's outdated, mate. He's outdated. And it's been that way for a long time.
It's beyond a joke.
Also, sorry to interrupt, Tom, but remember we moved out of Highbury. He's done it with a crowd capacity of less than what we moved out of. So all this bullshit to move out to a bigger ground, it's total bullshit, mate.
Just come in there if you don't mind. Can you see that picture I've got up on the screen?
Yeah, I saw it earlier on Twitter. It just shows you the amount of empty seats.
That is, in yellow, that shows the seats that are still available for Thursday night.
I know.
In yellow.
That just shows the frustrations of the fans now, doesn't it? Even the Wenger ins are maybe starting to turn on it now.
Yeah, the majority of them is Wenger out now.
And all them tickets are available on Ticket Exchange. There's thousands of them.
Hold on. Right,
Yeah, go on then.
Claude, what did you say?
Yeah, you showed that thing there, that ground there with the spaces, yeah?
Yeah.
But you've got to remember that a lot of them are season ticket holders.
No, that's what I was just about to say, mate. There's thousands and thousands of Ticket Exchange tickets on there.
Oh, right. All right. Oh, wow.
Thousands, mate.
What is that? I don't know if you can see it. What is that?
Oh, what an absolute dickhead.
What's the geezer? What are you doing in the stadium, mate? What are you doing in the stadium?
I would have kicked him out if I seen him there. I would have grabbed the bloody sunglasses off him.
I think he was taking the piss more than...
Yeah, I saw it yesterday as well, and I honestly didn't know if it was a genuine tweet or that geezer was set up and he was taking a piss.
Yeah, he's taking a piss.
Yeah.
Bloody hope he is.
This is part of the problem that's wrong with it.
Funny, no?
It's an embarrassment though, because every other club in this country takes a piss out of our atmosphere. You heard the Palace fans yesterday throughout the game just taking the absolute piss out of us. We're Arsenal, for God's sake. Yeah. Well, that's not what we've come to.
I've said it once, I've said it before. The worst mistake we made as a football club was move to the Emirates.
Yeah, it was.
People say we couldn't compete at Highbury. We wouldn't have competed at Highbury.
Yeah, and
well, hang on a minute. Didn't we get to a Champions League final when we were still at Highbury?
We did.
League and Cup doubles when we were at Highbury.
Yeah, we won all our titles at Highbury. Most of our titles at Highbury.
The funny thing is it's not even going to be the biggest club stadium in London in a few years' time.
No,
that's the ironic thing, isn't it? Yeah, Spurs 61,000, Olympic Stadium 60,000. So Chelsea probably build one eventually.
Yeah.
What was it for? Nothing.
I think back when we was at Highbury, I would have classed us as an elite club. honestly, like we had the capabilities to compete with the, like as you saw in the Champions League final with 10 men, we were still able to compete with Barcelona. And if you look at our team on that night compared to their team, there wasn't much in it. You look at our team: Henry, Sol Campbell, Lundberg, Pires. It was a great team. It was a great Fabregas in his young days. Fantastic player, absolutely fantastic player coming through. You look now, if you compare our squad to Barcelona or Real Madrid, absolutely not a patch. We are, listen, I think to say that we're not a big club is I don't think that's correct. I think we are a big club. If you put it in context, we are the third biggest club in England if it goes down to history and all load of that. But with the amount we've dropped, we're no longer an elite club because Juventus have stepped way ahead of us. I remember in 2006.
Yeah, didn't they get kicked out
in the season? We got to the final. Atletico Madrid, where were they?
No way.
Did we beat Real Madrid? Of course we did. I'm not forgetting that. We beat Real Madrid in their own backyard. Can you imagine if we went there now? So it'd be embarrassing. Absolutely embarrassing.
Do you know what, boys? And I'm gonna do this. I've never done this in my life. The lack of appreciation at the end of the season, and I hope everyone joins me. I think we should all walk out. We should all walk out and let them walk around an empty stadium. And if anyone, I will be definitely. If anyone wants to follow me, they can follow me because I'm gonna definitely be doing it.
Yeah,
I'll have a good.
Because I'm sick. I'm not only Wenger. I am sick of these players who've decided when they want to turn up at football matches. They're on such high salaries, and their heart hasn't been in it all bloody season. And I'm sick to the death of them. And I will not stand there and clap them round the pitch. I'm sorry. If anyone's going to say, well, you should support the team through thick and thin, I'm sorry, I won't have all. That's my way of showing how I feel about these players.
Yeah, I know. And
completely agree.
It just basically shows that this team is literally big time underachieved this season.
I'll get slaughtered for this now, saying that, but I'm sick of these players. I love my football club, and these players have not performed for my football club, and I'm bloody sick to death of them.
Yeah. Craig, what's your view on that?
I don't know.
I know we've
spoken about protests before, and there's this thing going around on Twitter at the moment that everyone should walk out in the 75th minute. All this malarkey, walking out in the 75th minute ain't going to do nothing because they've got your money. They're not going to be bothered by that. If they were going to do anything, a mass walkout should be done at half time. Don't buy no pies, don't buy no beer.
Yeah, just like whenever I go to the games.
Liverpool fans done it.
Yeah.
Liverpool fans done it. Look how it works.
Yeah, Liverpool fans done it. It worked out for them. And I salute every Liverpool fan that walks out of Anfield that day. Because at the end of the day, it's a cliche, I know it's cliche to say, the club's nothing without its fans. But at the end of the day, something has got to be done as a collective. Now, we've got this Arsenal knows best and Wenger out brigade going on, which to me, when it first happened, I had a bit of a giggle at it, to be honest. But now it's got so poisonous. You've got people fighting outside the ground. You've got people fighting each other in the ground. I mean, look at that video yesterday of a steward getting bitten. All right, the stewards at the Emirates are idiots. We all know that. But no one deserves to get bitten at a football match, whether you're a steward, whether you're a fan or not. We've seen videos of outside the ground after the Watford game, fans fighting.
Yeah, I was there. I was there as well.
And ultimately, I might get slated for saying this, but ultimately, Arsene Wenger has caused all this.
Yeah.
He has because he
goes on.
Not only him, Craig, the players as well, mate. I'm not sorry, they're to blame as well.
Oh, they are, mate. They are. I mean, I think there's a report in one of the papers today that an unknown an Arsenal player that will remain nameless has said that the players are baffled by his tactics and his substitutions. If that turns out to be true, I mean, that's not good at all. But yes, Claude, you're right. The players do have to take blame. But what I'll say is to that is they're only as good as their manager. It's like anything in life at work. You're only as good as your manager. If your manager can't motivate you, then you're not going to work properly. It's as simple as that. But whereas I do agree with Claude, the players do have to take some blame because they should be saying we have to do this for the fans. If not, we're going to do it for the manager. We have to do it for the fans, and obviously that's not happening either. And again, one man to blame for that, and that's Arsene Wenger. He's the manager. And the buck stops with the manager. It's as simple as that.
I think about I completely agree with what you said, Craig, about the Arsene Wenger, the fan infighting. I don't agree with it whatsoever. But it's been going on for so long. It's been going on for so long because Claude, you was there as well. You'll remember Swansea away in 2014, 1-0 up. We throw it away. Two sloppy goals.
When you were
fans were fighting outside the ground in front of my eyes. A month later, Southampton on New Year's Day when we lost 2-0, fans fighting like unbelievably after an absolutely shocking performance from our goalkeeper. And it's happening again. We haven't learned from our mistakes. Swansea at home this season, 1-0 up, cruising. Mertesacker suddenly stops. He just stops, doesn't play to the whistle. They put a through ball in, it's 1-1. They nick a goal at the end of the game, they've won the game. And that sends us out of the title race. The players and the manager have not learnt, mate. They've not learnt. And the mentality of this football club has not changed for so long. Because I've said it to Seb, you'll remember rightly so. I've said it so many times. Listen, over the past 10 years, players have come in and players have left. But the mentality has stayed the same. And that all goes down to Arsene Wenger because he's been here right the way through it. And as I said, Ozil, Alexis, they've come in, players have gone out, Van Persie, whoever you want, they've gone out. But the mentality has always been the same. It's always been the same, and it's not going to change unless something is done by the board or the fans protesting or whatever. Because Arsene Wenger is well past his sell-by date.
Oh, big time, yeah.
Tom, wasn't that last season?
Yeah, last season. Swansea away, Southampton away. It was literally unbelievable.
That's 2015, isn't it? Oh, I'm getting confused.
No, Claude. This was November 2014. Swansea away when we was 1-0 up.
Oh yeah.
Sigurdsson free kick and then Gomez, and then about a month later, we lost 2-0 at St Mary's, and literally the fan fight was.
Sorry, mate. I'm getting confused. It was last season, though, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was last season. Yeah. That's not to say that I agree with it whatsoever. But listen, when
I apologise for that because I mean.
No, it's fine.
I apologise for my outburst with Tyler at the time.
But no, Claude. No, not at all. Listen, as I was just about to go on and say, listen, when things like this happen at football club, fans are going to conflict against each other. Opinions are going to conflict, and that's what happens in the everyday world. But these conflicts aren't being resurrected, and that goes down to Arsene Wenger. As I said, the same mistakes are being made time and time again. Silly errors that were made in 2014 and 2012 that are still being made 2 weeks ago when we lost 3-4 weeks ago when we lost to Swansea. The same errors are being made, and when are they going to be resurrected? When are they going to be sorted out?
They're not learning.
But you know, Tom, you've been on the coach with me. He's a very difficult person, isn't he, Ty? I mean, he's very...
No.
Anyone...
I've never met him. I don't know how you do it. I've never met him. I don't know how you do it, man.
Here's another. Sorry to come in there, but look, here's another interesting little saying for you.
Yeah, go on.
I can find it. Here it is. There you go. Have a read of that. Tell me what you think about that.
Then why hasn't anything been done about that even?
Arsene is accountable to the fans. They ultimately make judgment. If you are seeing the relationship between the fans and the manager break down over time, that is unsustainable. Mr. Ivan Gazidis.
Why hasn't he done nothing about that? Fucking idiot.
Oh, yeah.
Because Wenger hired him, that's the thing, he's not going to sack him.
Completely.
Exactly. This is the problem with our boards.
It's like he's planned. It's like Wenger's actually planned this to happen, in a weird way. Because he's not going to sack him. It's not going to. He's not going to leave this year. I just dread to think what's going to happen next season. We're not going to win a league for at least.
That's Mo's mate. That's Mo's mate, isn't it? That's Mo Ada's mate, that is, isn't it?
Gazidis, yeah.
Oh yeah, because of that kit launch, and then now what you think?
Oh, did you see the kit launch? Oh, wonderful job, Mr. Gazidis.
I heard that. I watched everything, mostly every Arsenal fan TV video. I remember that.
I remember that. It wasn't Chris there as well.
Salmon Muncher. Yeah.
They both told him not to listen to the fans. Yeah? And then now they're the ones that are going about the hierarchy in the club.
Oh, it's a joke.
It's a joke. They told Gazidis at the kit launch you shouldn't listen to the fans.
Yeah, the fans are so stupid, aren't they? Wow. They disrespect the fans so much. It's an absolute disgrace how they treat us. I can't stand it. We're an organisation, we're not a club. Simple as that. And
the thing that made me laugh, I said this on Liam's channel before, is that when the £30 price cap got put in, one of the best pieces of news I've heard in years about that, because the ticket, I paid 60 quid to go to West Ham this season. It's scandalous. And it just made me laugh. I was watching Sky Sports News at the time, and the presenter was reading it out, and then he goes on to say that there were four teams that were against it. They were Arsenal, Chelsea, Man City, and Man United. And it just made me think to myself, how have we got the right to go against the fans paying a decent price? No one minds paying 30 quid for an away game. Like that's a very reasonable price. But if you look back, listen, I know Man United have struggled in the past couple of seasons, but prior to that, the amount of success that they've had is unbelievable. Chelsea and Man City for the past 5 years predominantly have been up there. I know, as I say, Chelsea this season has struggled, but their fans can't complain about success because they've won league titles. They've won league titles. We haven't. What right have we got to say, oh, hold on, the Premier League comes to Arsenal and say, oh, listen, the fans are going to be paying 30 quid. No, we don't agree with that. We want them to pay so-and-so 50, 60 quid each week. It's scandalous. It's disgusting. It's not right. It's not right. And it's how they had the cheek to even disagree with that. The fans paying a decent, fair price. It's beyond belief. It's disgusting. Absolutely disgusting.
I can't afford to go to games. I've been to one game in 8 years. And that was Watford at home in the FA Cup. So what a great game to go to.
Yeah.
I used to go every week, but when I moved to Ireland, before I had the kids, I used to come across about 10, 15 times a season, I suppose. But I can't do it now. Not now. I've got 3 kids, mortgage.
Yeah.
Other priorities, isn't it?
It's not just a match ticket for me now. It's a night's accommodation. It's the flight. It's the train. I think the last time I done a day trip was when we beat Norwich 4-1.
Was that when Jack Wilshere scored?
Jack Wilshere scored. Yeah. Oh. I think the whole for a day trip it cost me about 350 quid.
Well, at that time, at that moment, at
that moment, I would have paid £600 to see that goal, but
it was worth it at that point. But it just
that was up at 7:30 in the morning. That would be my normal day. Up at 7:30 in the morning on the plane, 9 o'clock in London for 10 o'clock. Heathrow to King's Cross. Meet up with me boys. Go and watch the game. Come back to Heathrow for 9 o'clock. 10:15 flight back to Cork, home in bed again by midnight. 350 quid.
Took all that.
Yeah.
I used to do that 10, 15 times a season, but I can't do it now. Can't do it.
Do you think with the signings of Ozil and Sanchez, it's like the club are messing with our heads a bit, saying we can afford these players, but we're not going to get anyone to play around them? even though we're desperate out for a striker.
The thing about Ozil and Sanchez is this, and I'm quoting a fella from one of my podcasts last night, and he said it brilliantly. The only reason we got Ozil was because they needed to fund a move for Gareth Bale.
Yeah,
right? And he wasn't. And when Bale turned up, Ozil weren't getting in the team. The only reason we signed Sanchez is because Suarez was going there, and Alexis Sanchez becomes a fringe player. Alexis Sanchez doesn't want to be sitting on the fringe. Arsenal come in for him. Guaranteed first team football. Lovely. Where do I sign? Petr Cech again becomes a fringe player because of when Courtois comes back, and that's the reason why we got him. People need to stop thinking that Arsene Wenger is attracting these people to our club. It's not Arsene Wenger attracting people to our club. It's guarantee of first team football.
That's not
it's not Arsene Wenger. If you're a footballer and someone tells you, "Oh yeah, I can give you regular first team football," you're going to sign for them. It's not as if Arsene Wenger said, "This is Arsenal. This is what I'm going to bring. This is what I'm going to bring you. This is what I'm going to give you. I'm going to give you league titles. I'm going to give you Champions Leagues. I'm going to give you this. I'm going to give you that." How can he say that? Because any rightful Alexis Sanchez has always got to do is look back at the last 10 years. All Ozil's got to do is look back at the last 10 years and say, "Hang on a minute, this geezer's telling me we're going to win a Champions League. This geezer's going to tell me when behave we are. This team ain't going to win a Champions League." You know, and people saying, "Oh, Alexis Sanchez and Mesut Ozil came to Arsenal to win Champions Leagues." Come on now.
Yeah, look.
As Claude would say, wake up and smell the coffee.
But Craig, who made that point? Because that's a great.
Danny Meehan, wasn't it? Danny.
Yeah.
Danny, yeah.
Absolutely.
Craig's funny. He said, "Go on." He's.
Absolutely spot on.
I'm very good friends with Danny, like outside of Arsenal, and he said that to me numerous times about that point, that the only reason we've got, and when it actually happened and we signed Sanchez and Ozil, he said it to me, and he said it to me again when we signed Cech. Listen, the only reason we're signing Cech, Tom, is because they don't need him. They've got the Courtois, blah blah blah. And I used to go, no. But the truth of the matter is, it's right. It's correct.
He is right. He's dead.
Arsenal, Craig, and I hate to bring you up on this. You even said it yourself on Twitter that you didn't have the bullets, and I completely agree with you with that. As Arsenal fans, you don't want to admit that. You want to say to these opposition fans and fans around you, we've signed 3 great players there. Listen, we've managed to take him off Barcelona and Real Madrid's hands. Brilliant. But it's true. It's true, and it's such a good point that you make there. It's such a good point.
Yeah, Danny deserves all the credit for that, because I'm only repeating what he said.
The last time this club bought a player that was actually the best in the position that he's in, and was Dennis Bergkamp.
Well, that was by George Graham.
And that was no.
Bruce Rio.
David Dean.
It wasn't by Wenger.
David Dean signed him, I reckon.
Yeah, well, this is why we need a director of football, because David Dean.
That's the point.
I think Claude. Am I right in saying that David Dean even funded part of that move?
I think you
I
could
think
be
I'm right in saying that. You know, there was one of them.
I think that deal was done. Everyone just gave Rio the credit for that. But having said that, Bergkamp did enjoy playing under Rio. In fact, when Rio was sacked, Bergkamp waited to stay at the club. So it was he was a very big fan of Rio. So I wouldn't give him some credit as well.
Yeah, definitely. Absolutely. Yeah, well.
No, I think any man who could make Dennis Bergkamp sign deserves a bit of respect.
He was an unbelievable player.
But the good story about that is apparently he spoke to Spurs before he came to Arsenal.
Yeah, I heard about
and apparently Spurs paid for his cab.
Was that Petit?
to Highbury. Spurs paid for Bergkamp's cab to Highbury.
That's Petit.
Wasn't it?
Oh, was it Petit? Was it? Oh, right, okay.
We played with both.
Great story, though.
Great.
Lord Sugar paid the cab fare.
Good.
Piers Morgan still shreds him about that, apparently.
I thought it was Bergkamp, but anyway, I stand corrected.
But that's really the last player that was in the top of this game that we bought that no one.
What about Sol Campbell?
Yeah, that was good.
But that was a free though. That's a no-brainer, isn't it? That's a free. Come on.
Oh yeah, but he still had to get in there.
Yeah, but
I don't suppose he needed much motivation, though, did he?
No.
Back in those days, but I don't think he'd be like this now.
I don't know whether he would have joined us now, though.
No chance.
No chance.
Can you imagine Harry Kane joining us?
We see Claude touches on a good point there, because he talks about Sol Campbell not wanting to join us now. Who would want to join us now?
Yeah, why would you want to
Who would want to join Arsenal now? I mean, they can see what's going on. Players are on social media. They can see, they can see the absolute poison that's going on at the moment. They can see everyone calling for Wenger's head. They can see everyone calling for Kroenke's head. They can see what we're like as fans. We're not achieving nothing. We're getting knocked out of the Champions League in the last 16 every year. We're not challenging for titles. Why would you want to come to Arsenal?
No.
Why would you? This is what's scaring me. In the next 2 or 3 seasons, in the next 2 or 3 seasons, we could be 8th, 7th, 6th. I mean, I can remember the shit times, and I'm sure Claude can remember the shit times. When Arsenal were finishing 14th, 15th. I was only a kid when that was happening, but I don't want to see that in this lifetime. I don't want to see that in this time of life. God, no. Jesus Christ. It's just all going. It's just, like I said, lads, nothing is going to happen. This club is not going to move forward until Arsene Wenger is gone, and that's the sad truth. And we can hold banners up, we can protest, we can do anything. Don't get me wrong, I respect the fellas that organise protest, I respect the fellas that hold up banners, but nothing is going to happen until that man is gone. And that's all I've got to say on the man.
Yeah, but see, another thing I heard about, I heard something about Ozil the other day. He's already speaking to a lot of clubs in Europe.
Can you blame him? Can you blame him? Why should Mesut Ozil rot at Arsenal?
Yeah.
Why? He's one of the best number 10s in the world.
Yeah.
The geezer is. I think he's made stupid over 100 chances this season, and he's only got 18 assists.
Yeah.
Right. That's shocking. That is a shocking statistic. That man has created over 100 chances, and he's got 18 assists.
You see, I said...
Why the hell would Mesut Ozil want to stay at Arsenal, where he's creating 100 chances a season, and only 18 of them are getting converted?
Yeah.
But why did he buy him then? He wasn't going to buy a world-class striker to be in front of him. I mean...
Because he believes that Oliver Giroud is world-class.
I think it's to do with the French correlation. That's what I think anyway. How he can see that Olivier Giroud is good enough to win a Premier League title is beyond me. Beyond me.
I think Oliver Giroud could do a job if he was in a different formation. I believe that Oliver Giroud would be a better striker in a 4-4-2 formation. But that's just my opinion on him. I think if he was the little and large up front, the traditional little and large up front, I believe Oliver Giroud would excel as a striker. But in fairness to Oliver Giroud, yes, he can be lazy, and yes, he can miss sitters, but he does, and I know Claude's going to disagree with me, but this is what I see. He does work hard to try and find some space, to try and make something happen. But if he's not getting the service, what is he supposed to do? He can't run the length of the pitch and pick up the ball in defence and try to dribble around everyone and score a goal. If he's not getting the service, he's not going to score the goals. It's simple. I mean, look at Bellerin yesterday. He must have put, 12? I think I counted 13 crosses yesterday, and not one of them got past the first bloke. Right? Look at Ozil's corners. Ozil is one of the best dead ball kickers in the world, and he can't beat the first man on the front post when he puts the corner in. So, if he's not getting the service, what can he do? I just don't. I understand that he's not good enough, and I understand that he's not the striker we need to win the league. But I think people are a bit harsh on him, to be honest. But that's just my opinion on Giroud.
We put too much pressure on him, I think. I agree with what you're saying. I think we as fans do put a lot of pressure on him, but that's not his fault. It's the manager's fault for saying he's in the same category, as you say, Lewandowski and Aguero. So in a way, he's a plan B. He's a plan B for me.
There's no comparison, isn't it? Anyone that compares Giroud to Aguero or Lewandowski should stop watching football. Simple.
That's our manager, Craig, though. We're saying it.
Yeah, but he should stop watching football. Exactly. And that's what I mean, Claude. He needs to go. Look, when Arsene Wenger first came to the Premier League, I've said this before, and I'll say it again. When Arsene Wenger first came to the Premier League, he was 10 years in front of any football manager in England. He changed their diets. He changed their training methods. He stopped them drinking. Blah, blah, blah. Because let's admit, Arsenal, they were a well-known club for going on a jolly up after they won a game and whatever. He is now 20 years behind any manager in England. And that is the sad facts. He is so stubborn that he believes his ways. He hasn't moved on with the game. He hasn't moved on to the modern way of the game. When he comes out and he says things like, I don't worry about the opposition, I only worry about my team. Right. Can you imagine Anthony Joshua going into a boxing ring against Charles Martin the other night? And the interview says to him, have you watched Charles Martin? No, don't need to worry about him. I'll just concentrate on myself. Oh, so you don't know where the punches are going to come from then, Anthony? No, don't care. And he gets in the ring and he gets hit by a right hook. Right? That he knew wasn't coming.
Yeah,
Arsene Wenger's the same. You cannot play against a team and not look at where this team could possibly hurt you or possibly get through you. You can't do that. You have to look at the opposition and you have to change the tactics to suit who you're playing.
Especially if they're better than you as well.
Well, yeah. That's fucking school. Sorry, Seb, for swearing. That's schoolboy stuff. Sure, I've run kids teams over here. No, you set up your team to play against the other team. You give your team the instructions because you know that that's what you can do to hurt them, to get through them, to get round them. Fancy saying that I don't look at the opposition. And then fancy saying what he said today in the paper as well, in the Evening Standard. It doesn't matter if we finish below Tottenham.
I'm sorry, but that isn't...
It's a sackable offence. That is a sackable offence.
That alone has got to get you fired. That alone.
That is a sackable offence. How dare he come out and say it doesn't matter if we finish below Tottenham? Yeah.
Because he's getting the excuses in early, that's all. That's what it is.
Yeah. Craig, what you said about he said about he doesn't look at the position. It just showed at West Ham, didn't it? Because
we showed it against so many other people.
Exactly.
Southampton, West Brom, Norwich.
Yeah.
Crystal Palace, the weekend gone by. Watford, Manchester United away. Look at that Manchester United team we played at Old Trafford. That is possibly the worst Manchester United team we've played against since the Premier League has been going. Right? And he still can't beat them. And a 19-year-old boy who went home to do his homework because he had to go to school on Monday morning scored 2 goals against us. Just let that sink in. Just let that sink in.
Yeah.
Right? And we still can't beat them. Chelsea, the worst Chelsea side we've seen since the Premier, well, in the last 10 years certainly. Still can't beat them. We go away to Stoke and draw 1-1. Claude's touched on that. We go away to Stoke, we draw 1-1. We've just watched Tottenham absolutely annihilate them.
I think it was 0-0 that Stoke game.
Do you know, it
doesn't matter.
or 0-0, 1-0, whatever it was. I can't remember. It was that long ago. You know, that's what you've got to be looking at. Everyone else can beat these teams except us, and we need to find out why. Well, we all know why, because the tactics are all wrong. They're too old. They're too outdated, and he has got no plan B. Not one. I mean, look at the Watford Cup game. 1-0 down. Change it, Arsenal. Change it, Arsenal. 75th minute. Change it, Arsenal. Change it. 2-0 down. 82nd minute. 82nd minute. He changes it. Welbeck comes on. Changes the game. We get a goal. He should have equalised. But he didn't. We can't say no more about that. But he changed the game in the 82nd minute. If he'd have brought him on in the 75th minute when we went 1-0 down, we might have got something out of that game. But in a way, I'm glad we didn't, because it would have just papered over the cracks.
Yeah, I know. It sounds like that. Winning the FA Cup. It was a good.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that I didn't want us to win the cup. I'm just saying that we'd have all gone, oh yeah, we got the equaliser, great, and it would have papered over the cracks about how dire the performance actually was.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to say.
I just want to read out this message that one of my mates sent me a couple of weeks ago, and I think this basically sums up. He says, football is changing day by day. Arsenal are never changing. Why? Because of Wenger. Wenger was the greatest manager because around 10 years ago, football was played how he thinks tactically. Now it's completely changed. We need someone who can direct the team to play modern football, which Wenger and Arsenal lack.
Absolutely, 100% agree with him. Bang on.
See, if other people can notice that, why can't he?
It's not rocket science, Seb, is it?
It isn't rocket science.
He's too stubborn. Way too stubborn in his ways.
What do we know, mate? But what do we know? We're only fans.
Yeah. How many games have we played well this season? How many games have we played well this season?
Well, I posted that on the Gooner talk, because I can only really think of 5. I can't think of.
I think you're generous.
Yeah.
I think maybe 1. First 20 minutes against United, great.
Yeah.
What else? That's it.
Well, we were good against Everton.
Yeah, we were good against Everton. We were good at Manchester United earlier season. We were good at Bayern Munich. We were good at Watford, but that was when the pressure's off. We were good away at Olympiacos. We were good at City, but that's all I can think. And we were good at Leicester at their place. But any other games, I just don't think that's good enough.
It's not. It's way off the mark.
Even that game played that fireball, the Leicester game.
Yeah. The thing is, with title-winning teams, you can afford to have 3 to 5 bad games a season. Arsenal have had 20 to 25 bad games this season, and it's getting worse and worse each season. I mean, I think we're going to have lower points tally at the end of this season than we did last season. Even last season, we had less than the season before. So we're not progressing. We're going backwards. Even with Sanchez and Ozil, we were probably doing better when we had Benton and Shamak at the club.
Oh,
It's
terrible.
You know, it's depressing. It's honestly so depressing.
Oh, no. Yeah.
Well, there you go. There's another one. Shamak, Scalacci.
Oh, never mind. We had
Sylvester, Fergie had enough of him.
I'm starting a campaign to get Boué back on free.
Fergie threw Sylvester on the scrap heap, and Wenger went and picked him up off it.
Hashtag bring back a Boué. Well, tweet it out, people.
The best.
At least he had a bit of heart.
Yeah. He was actually alright in the 05-06 season in the Champions League run. He was actually brilliant against Madrid away, I remember. Well, that was about 10 years ago now, but...
Yeah, he was another one who let it all go to his head, didn't
he? Yeah.
If he'd have just concentrated on his football, let it all go to his head. Another Emmanuel Frimpong.
Yeah,
there's Bentner. You know. Bentner's another one. He could have been a good player if he'd have just kept his feet on the ground. But he'll always be a legend to me. He'll always be a legend to me. I was behind the goal that day, coming as a sub against Spurs, and they did that ball in the back of the net. Oh.
He had the ability, Bentner.
Never forget that.
Ability.
He did.
He had the ability, but he
He
didn't
looked
want to work.
quite a lot of time, so he just didn't want to play.
He didn't want to work on his game.
No, he believed he was better than he was, and that was it.
Too big for he thought he was too big for his boots. We've got too many of those players who just think that they're...
Walcott,
Yeah,
like first half of the season, he was doing okay. But with Wenger, you need to manage players. Just because you scored 2 goals one game, don't mean you're the fucking best player. You've got to manage him better and say, right, what instead of focusing why he did so well, what could have you done better? You need to analyse individual players. Like Oxlade-Chamberlain, prime example. He's not managed them properly at all. And it will. I hope it doesn't happen for Obi.
Oh, completely.
Can you imagine?
Because the player that Oxlade-Chamberlain was 3 seasons ago, the high hopes that I think every single Arsenal fan had for that kid back then, his potential was sky high. Look at him now. You look at him now. I know he's one league goal in what 2 years?
2 years, yeah.
2 years, and that was against Bournemouth. I just really hope that doesn't happen. And the thing that irritates me as well is another thing with Oxlade-Chamberlain. I've actually met Oxlade-Chamberlain a couple of times, and even when I met him, I met him outside the stadium, and you see all this stuff that he puts on social media, him and his mates out in wherever they are. Even I met him, I was with 2 of my mates, and he pulled up outside us one night, having a conversation. While he was having a conversation, he was scrolling through Instagram. He's scrolling through Instagram at the same time, and it just shows you these things. Social media, Ozil's one of them. He's always putting things on Twitter and on Instagram and that. Oxlade-Chamberlain, he's all he does is put fucking Instagram posts up of him and his mate out in New York or blah blah blah.
Sorry to interrupt. Sorry to interrupt, but I've got to go, Seb. Thanks for having me on, mate.
Yeah, we're just about to finish shortly, so
yeah.
Thanks
Seb,
for joining us.
I think it's time to wrap.
Cheers,
Otherwise,
Greg.
we're all going to get.
See you later, lads.
Cheers, Greg.
We'll end up going to the Samaritans tonight if we stay on here another 10 minutes.
All right, okay. Yeah, we have been going on for a while because I've also got work the next day. Shall we wrap it up there, boys?
Yeah.
Go for it, mate.
Well, I'm sorry, everyone who was watching. That was a very long conversation, but it just sums up how we're all depressed, and there's a lot of things wrong with the club, but all we can do is just try and stick behind the team and keep the faith. I know it's difficult, but you just have to get the end of the season done with and just focus. But oh, dearie me, breathe. Right, so thanks once again to Tom, and thanks once again to Adam, and thank you, Claude, for joining us tonight. It's been a pleasure having a conversation.
It's been a pleasure talking to all you boys. You're very, very good, actually. And
Likewise.
what can I say? I mean, we'll just have to count. I hope to see some of you on Thursday, and
yeah, I'm afraid you won't be seeing me because I've got work the next day.
I would if I could go.
I'm looking forward to I'm not looking forward to Thursday, but we've got to carry on.
I'll be there.
And I've got to be up at 4 o'clock for Sunderland. 4 o'clock on Sunday morning for Sunderland. How about that, eh?
Yeah. I was actually offered a ticket to go to that one, but unfortunately I couldn't go to that one. So
I'll take it.
Norwich. I'll be at Norwich and I'll be at West Brom. So I mean, not West Brom, Aston Villa, final day. Yeah. So yeah. So we'll wrap it up there. Thanks everyone for watching, and thanks once again.
Okay, boys.
Thanks once again, and if you haven't subscribed to this channel, please do so, and I'll be speaking to you very soon. And until then, come on, you Reds.